We're here we're talking about our journey with Kabbalah and how we apply it in our lives. And this week I'm extra excited. For me personally, a lot of opportunities have come up this week to really like dive into my spiritual work and to transform. So yeah, we can get together and we can talk about that stuff.
I gotta stop you right there. So give us an example, if you could.
Huh.
You said you had a lot of opportunities. What would be the
Oh
most
man, so a
shareable?
big one that's shown up in my face yesterday. I had, maybe 6 people. I was at the airport starting off in the morning, and then like the flight, every single person was just the biggest people pleasers. And I was going insane. I was like so annoyed and so bothered by everyone like being overly friendly and overly like whatever. And as Kabbalah has taught me, everything is just a reflection of me, and everything is showing me and giving me signs. And I was like, what's going on? This is so like obnoxious, and it's everyone. And so I asked the universe and I asked my soul, and I was like, okay, what's my lesson here? This is not a coincidence. And it was just showing me that this is something that I was doing, and I'm working on this month very, very consciously, working on overcoming my people-pleasing tendencies and trying to make everyone like me and being overly, flattering and stuff. And it was showing me that, okay, that's not who I am anymore, but also like kind of cleaning up the last little bits that are there just out of my like, oh, I really don't like that. I'm never going to do that again.
That is so perfect, right? It's perfect for the month. It's also perfect for what we wanted to talk about today, which is Tikune, right?
I mean, that's literally, we'll talk about Tikune, but that is my big Tikune.
Since I threw out the word, I may as well say something about the word Tikun. Tikun is a word from Hebrew. It means like to correct or to repair. And briefly, we come to this world, we have to know that none of us came perfect. And the reason we're here is to find out what is our tikkun, what we came here to correct. And then we need a lot of help, because to change is something very difficult. Luckily, with the tools and wisdom of Kabbalah, it makes it possible. And the beautiful thing about it is it gives you tools to how to correct, and then it tells you when are the best times. Like, we happen to be in the month of that is known Kabbalistically to be the one month that if you want to change, you'll have all the support from the Creator, from the angels, from everything. Like in your story in the airport, it was pushing you, but not only that, it gave you the consciousness, the thought, oh, why is this happening? It was like helping you,
And that's the key, that you have the consciousness to look at the opportunity, the challenge, and you can say, okay, so the Creator's not trying to bring me any harm. These people are not being annoying for no reason, to not be the effect of things, to realize what's the cause and what's the message to me. How do I look at my life and see where I act that way, in this life, a past life, but right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing to have that thought live on the spot, because it's easier when we have a class and the teacher is going to say, hey, when in your life, and then, oh, you know what, I was reactive at the airport and now I can put it together. But for you it was live, which is beautiful. As it was happening, you were getting aggravated.
And let's be honest, we all react to it. The initial thing is a reaction. Oh, how annoying, or this is terrible, right? Like, that's our initial reaction. But then the second thought is, okay, now why did this come to me? What does it mean? What's the gift? What's the blessing that this is bringing me?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I mean, honestly, like that as a reflection, just saying like when somebody annoys me, to be like, they're not really real. Like, it doesn't matter like what they're doing, no judgment for them, but it's showing me like what I don't want to do and what I want to choose to do, and being compassionate. I had to balance it, being like, okay, don't judge them, but I'm grateful that I could witness it so I can choose how I want to act and be more clear on my actions going forward and how I want to have relationships with people.
I had something come up that was like a criticism from my son, because you know, like he's a boy, so he's messier than my daughter. And so when he wants to do something, like I have to hold it in and let him do something, but it's still bothering me, you know? And he said to me, like, why do you have to let me do it. Like I can do this. You don't have to help me. You always want to help me. I'm like, okay, that's control. I think I have serious control issues that, thank you for bringing that to my attention. That's definitely something I need to work on. You know, and I think, okay, so one morning, I made him this like infused water, and I set it on the table. I said, okay, so here's your energy water, and it spilled the whole thing over the table, went under the glass, onto the carpet. You know, it was everywhere. But they know that I don't like scream. I'm not. My first reaction is not like ah. So I'm like, oh, okay, it's okay. But inside, I'm like, oh, you know, it's the morning. We got to get going. Everything's on the clock. So now I got to clean that up. And then I put something in the air fryer to make for lunch, and my daughter seasoned it, and the seasoning caught on fire in the air fryer. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on this morning? Like, you know, and I'm going down that rabbit hole of getting stressed, getting reactive. And it's hard to see in the moment, okay, these are my gifts. This is where my light is. I don't know what the message is, because we might not see the message right away. We might have to, the message might come to us later. Okay, so that's what it's showing me, like how maybe I'm a people pleaser because, right, that these people are, it's really bothering me that they're pleasing. Maybe I'm controlling and overreactive. So I need to look at those things and say, okay, where else in my life, why is the creator bringing me these situations? So I can look at it's not about them and what's happening in the moment. It's about how am I like that in my life, and how can I work on that this month?
Well, I think sometimes too, when I have mornings like that, or like times, I just have to laugh, because eventually you have to throw your hands up and be like, okay, I am like, this is what it is. I am not in control of anything. And like, we're just going to laugh through it. And I think that like builds that muscle of just letting go, you know? So sometimes those little like out of control, stressful things, it's actually a gift, because it just gives you like the practice to be like, all right, I give up. Let's just go. It's fine. Whatever happens, happens.
I have to inject here. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, sometimes it's hard, like if it's a financial thing, like one of those, oh, where did that come from? Why do I not have to spend, you know, $900 and buy new tires? Or, oh my gosh, you know, like last week it was the air conditioning, $1,200. Wait, what's the lesson? What's the lesson? I think financial things are really hard.
It is hard when it's a big thing, yeah.
Cool. I was going to throw in this, you know, we talk about stuff that we're learning at from the center. This week there was a class with Michael Berg, TLE, 10 luminous emanation, which is like very, very high. It's not Kabbalah 101, right? It's more advanced, but just to hear it, you don't have to understand anything. It's like you know how you need a software upgrade. You don't understand what it does, but you just plug in and it does it for you, and off you go, and you're upgraded. So when you go on that kind of a class, even if you didn't understand anything, he's like plugging you in, and you know. So when you talk to you said about those moments where you just let go, those can be actually the highest moments of the day. It's like, because when you understand what's going on, it's very limited. The light is very limited. When you say, I don't have any idea what's going on, I don't know why this is happening, and I surrender. I'm like, I know, I'm with you. You know, you take it from here. I don't need to understand. When you do something like this, you're tapping into the highest light. So I'm not explaining it exactly the way he did, but
and it's not surrendering as a victim, like, you
right.
know,
Surrender that I don't have to understand.
Right, that there's light behind this. This is where this is where my light is, and we're really tapping into the highest level of the creator when we surrender it to the creator, because now we're one with the creator. We're partners in this. The light can actually flow through me, through the situation.
So this actually happened yesterday when I was on the flight. It was delayed 3 hours, and I was supposed to go get my kids, and their dad was kind of frustrated because he had plans, and anyways, at the same time I was getting on the runway, I was getting texts about that and texts from a client who was upset about something and a few things. And I had this like, just this image of like a tornado, like a storm happening, and inside of it is calm. And so I was just like meditating. I was like, you know what? Everything is working for me. There's a storm right now, but it's rearranging things to give me what I want. So I'm just going to sit in the middle where it's calm, and I'm not going to try to fix anything. And I'm just like, I just like breathe, and I just visualize like everything moving around me. But it was actually like, I know when it settles, it's going to be the best. You know, it's going to be fall in the right place. And that was really helpful.
That's amazing.
Love that.
Beautiful. All right. So let's share something. So just in general, we're at a time where, now I was going to say about the Elul, we don't have to talk specifically about this month. Esther, should we first show a weekly energy boost or Daniel Noor?
I don't know, you might be able to rearrange things a little bit since we talked about the Tikune. I think it's important to share the little snippet about Daniel.
Okay, perfect. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about Tikune. So Tikune, we spoke about it a little, we touched upon it, we said what it means. It's like to correct. At the Kabbalah Center, there's something that I think it was developed by Daniel Noor and maybe Michael Osher, and I think there's now a lot of teachers that are doing it, but they're offering you a service. So if you have interest, you can contact the Kabbalah Center and sign up for a one-on-one session that gets recorded. I'm gonna let Daniel Noor introduce it, and then we can talk about it. And then Christine, maybe you can share, because this week there was something like a free event with hundreds of people. It was very powerful. So maybe you can share that. But let's first try to understand a little bit better from the perspective of Daniel. So I'm going to share my screen here. Oh, hold on 1 second. It's not letting me share. Okay, I'll just do this. And share some. Oops. Okay. So, so a few pages that I would recommend to follow from the Kabbalah Center. You have Daniel Noor. I'll show later. There's Yuda Ashkenazi. If you want to know more about astrology, what's going on from astrology point of view, we'll show you the account of Yael Yardeni and Ruth Nahmias. They're very good, and they post, Ruth Nahmias posts a lot, so you can tap into what's going on with astrology. Anyway, we'll put on the notes of the show all the great links that you can follow, but this is Daniel Noor with Tikune Healing.
Tikune is the big picture idea of what our soul came here in this world to do, what lessons it came to learn. In the Tikune healing sessions, we approach it in a deep and also practical way to find out what it is and how to find a good solution for that, for overcoming our Tikune. In a Tikune healing session, we explore Tikune from the aspects of the family system and belief systems that we adopted from certain events. In the first part of a Tikune healing session, we're asking questions, we're digging deeper, we want to see where did it start, where did it originate, be able to link it to maybe a hidden dynamic, a Tikune in our family system, or be able to link it to a certain event in our life that created that limiting point of view that we're still carrying. In the second part of the session, we're using either a form of visualization or meditation to be able to go deeper inward and to relate that which we understood intellectually to understand it with our heart and with our soul. And the impact of that is usually great, because now we can take it to our heart and soul and move forward with a new energy, with a new belief, with a new mindset.
The Tikune healing session was really amazing because it allows you to sort of take.
So
So I did a Tikune healing session actually the day after the thing you're talking about. We'll talk about that. I did a private one with Daniel, and it was really, really remarkable actually. I went in and I was like, I want to work on my daddy issues. I was like, I'm blocked with romantic relationships and with men, and I want to figure out what's going on there. And so he started asking me questions, and I was kind of painting the picture. And honestly, we weren't really getting anywhere for a while. It was kind of like, oh, okay, you know, but there was this point where he asked me to locate where I was holding on to something. And I kind of got in this meditative state, I think. And then he asked me when I was meditating, and I was like in my throat. And he just asked me like all the right questions. He was like, well, what's wrong with your throat? And I can't tell you, it was like your subconscious in that state, and with him and with the energy, just like came up with all this stuff like I had no idea was in me. And it was like these insecurities about speaking, especially about spirituality. And then all these memories and all this stuff came up about my childhood and how I grew up very religious, and I was Mormon, and there was like this very specific doctrine, and it was like not safe to speak outside of what they taught. And so I had so many just times where I wanted to share what I thought and what I felt, and it was belittled, and it was told that it wasn't right or unaccepted, and just all of this stuff, you know, was held in my throat. So we talked a lot and worked through that. And then he did a meditation where it brought forth like an inner child and guided me through that. And my 4-year-old self came, and she told me all of her fears and all of her stuff about, you know, nobody listens to her, and she feels alone, and nobody sees how special she is, and all these limiting beliefs, right, that the 4-year-old was feeling that. And then helped me to give her validation, and helped me to say, like, I'm here, like, I hear you, and I support you, and like, do you trust me? And like, just really build a relationship with this 4-year-old that lives inside of me, you know. And she felt really comfortable, and she was like, okay, with you, I can let go of this stuff. And he guided me through all this stuff to let go of all this pain and all this isolation and all this guardedness. Yeah, it was really amazing. Honestly, it's only been a couple days, but I feel so much lighter, so much happier. And then just like, honestly, just like safe. Like, I'm like, I can talk and it doesn't matter like what other people think. I just feel safer now, where before I was like shutting down so much. So it really is. Those Tikune healing sessions are miraculous.
Wow, that's so amazing. And when you say that your 4-year-old was talking to you,
yeah, I could
totally like it just channels, right? It's not like you need to come up with stuff. It's just, it's like really her talking to you.
Yeah, it's like all of it's like inside of us, right? Like in Kabbalah, we learn that like there's not actually, there are times an illusion, it's not real. So the stuff can just surface, all these like repressed memories. It's like they're all stored there, so they can all surface. So, you know, when you get in that, I think that vulnerable state and that calm state, and then Daniel's such a great channel of healing, it really can surface a lot of stuff and have a lot of movement.
That's so awesome. You know, it makes me feel like, you know, when my parents got divorced when I was 4, and I suppressed it forever, you know. Even now that it makes me feel like, you know, 4 years old. It's interesting. Like, I would love to go talk to that 4-year-old and have a conversation that nobody had with that 4-year-old. It was just like, that's how it is, live with it. It's fine, everything is fine. And, you know, we grew up with my dad, which is not normal. You know, usually people would go with a mom. It kind of makes more sense. And so, you know, it makes me feel like I should go back, and because I'm sure a lot of my blockages in my life today could be resolved by going back to that 4-year-old and have a conversation. What are the fears? What are the what limiting beliefs am I building right now that are going to block me for the rest of my life? God forbid.
Yeah. Yeah. And, there is like, I'll say like, the therapy and all the proactive work we do, that's healing it. But I will say this is like fast because you get to the root so fast. And so like all the layers that sometimes we have to work through, which is great and we should do, like you can just have such a breakthrough, and it's really, it is incredible.
Amazing.
But
to you, life is happening for you, so you can look at those things that you couldn't look at then. Life happened to you when you were 4, right?
Well,
You did.
Was an amazing part of it. He, and I've seen him do this many times. He always says like, what did you learn from this? And, that's a big important part of it. Like, what skills did you gain from this? And, in like, for this example, I said, I learned to go inward, and I learned to find joy with myself. And I learned, so, this was unblocking me trusting other people and me being myself with other people, but I did learn to go inward, and I did learn that I had a strength inside of me and to not look outside of me. So now if I can combine both, it's like amazing. But I mean, all those traumas, there are gifts, but there's a time to let them go and we keep those gifts and we incorporate it with more.
Amazing. I think with the time we're getting close to wrapping it up. Before we wrap it up, I want to mention that we are here to like share, everything that we're getting from this amazing river of light called the Kabbalah Center. There's so many astrology and Tikune healing, and there's so much good stuff that we would like to share how it's affecting us and make it available to more and more people. So having that said, we're going to link. So if you found interest in Tikune healing, and so we'll have Daniel Noor's Instagram, and you can follow him. And from time to time, he's going to post free sessions. Like there was just a free session this week with hundreds of people. So you can get notified about the next time. And we'll also post Yuda Ashkenazi, which does the most amazing meditations, and many times they're free. So by following him, you can get the free meditations. You can follow the weekly energy boost. We're going to show you all the free stuff that's available that you can follow. And then we're going to also share the paid stuff, with the membership on Kabbalah.com. There's like the TLE and, the more advanced stuff. So we're going to share all of that. But we're excited to share our journey. And I want to have both of you just maybe final words.
I love what you said. The Kabbalah Center like uses the wisdom of Kabbalah, but truly like the community, it's a whole universe. It's a whole world of just like so many resources and so much connection and so much support. I think there's something, if you want connection or you want support or you want wisdom, like there's something for you. So I would definitely say it's worth exploring, and it's worth seeing if there's something that connects with you through those outlets you suggested are a great idea.
And wherever you're watching, we're going to try to put all those great links in the comments. Esther, bring us home.
Bring us home. Yeah, so I mean, we're looking forward to.
Funny, we're home. We're in different rooms in the home.
We're looking forward to the whole reason we created this channel is that we can help touch people's lives by sharing things that have made a difference in our lives, that through using the tools and through using the techniques and the wisdom of Kabbalah, how it's really transformed our lives and made our lives and the lives of the people that we're close to. It's enriched us so much and allows us to navigate through everything that happens on a daily basis, from minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, and to take advantage of those opportunities in the universe during the year that are the best times to do things, and the times that we want to look inward, to really work together with the way the universe flows, so that we're not always living in a reactive state. So we hope that you'll join us for future conversations, and we look forward to sharing more with you and having guests on our channel. So please continue to join us, and like, save, share if you got some value out of today.
Amazing.
Thank you so much. And lastly, we are located in Las Vegas, and by following us, we let you know when there's something going on locally here in Las Vegas, so we can meet you face to face. Can't wait to meet you.
Perfect.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Next time.
Bye.